boss nigga, but I'm broke. To a boss nigga, I'm a joke. My pockets needin' that dough, and that's probably the reason I smoke the pain away, pop a pill, and I go. Nice. Got the feeling I roll. MM3 soundtrack of my whole life. I'm out of control, I'm higher than Jordan, soaring, touring the sky. 45 on the side of my hip and it's low, red link back in the rock, patrolling, Patron in the cup and I'm holding it up. Losing my mind, I'm out of control, I'm stuck with my foot on the gas, nigga, no slowing it up. Shit, riding down the road, I barely can see. All I see is these lights in the rear view that's staring.
All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, tuning in to Honcast.com. That is right, you're tuning in for some more Heroes of New Earth action, and once again, we're here to deliver. We have the DreamHoN Summer Championships continue yet again today with day number 4 of coverage. That means we are now in the round of 64, and what is a very important day. We'll get into that in just a moment, though. Of course, I'm Breaking CPK. Going to be joined by my co-host, once again, the one, the only Ralph Medor. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, doing pretty good. And yeah, these games are starting to get much more important every single day. They're getting much more exciting as well. As the games we casted yesterday were very exciting. Some very good teams showing up here now, especially in the round of 64.
Yeah, it was the first 3-game series that we actually were able to witness yesterday, so that was a lot of fun. Of course, that was a case of Team Pikachu actually defeating Team 15, and it was unfortunate that those two teams got matched up at the round of 128, but again, that's just the luck of the draw right there, and only one team was able to move on. So, but yeah, it's just going to get better and better as far as the tournament advances on. But again, what this means today with the round of 64, why it's so important. You win today, you're going on to the group stages. That means really 2 things. One, you're at least getting a piece of that $40,000 prize pool as a result of getting the top 32. And then 2 is you're going to be playing for the next 28 days, I believe it is, that the group stages are going to last. Every 4 days, pretty much, a best-of-3 series. So you're going to have 7 best-of-3s ahead of you as a result of advancing onto the group stage. So plenty of competitive play out there for these teams that advance on today. So, Ralph, I mean, that's a lot right there on the line.
I know. There's a lot to look forward to. A lot of games will be casted here coming up after this round of 64. And I'm really excited to see the teams and how things are working out in the group stages. I think that's going to be the most fun part of this tournament, for me anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, again, a big part of this tournament as well is it is the lock-picking tournament, so we've definitely had some fun with that already, with the matches, with the 3 days of coverage that we've had so far, but again, it's just going to get better and better. Unfortunately, we haven't really seen a whole lot of diversity just yet when it comes to that locks, but, you know, we were talking about that. Obviously, with this being single elimination at this point, you know, teams are really being safe. Better to be safe than sorry when it comes down to it. But once we get into those group stages, I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit more curveballs coming up. But on that note, though, as far as the matchup that we're going to be bringing to you guys today, we actually have yet again a Q Squad team. This isn't the one we casted a couple days ago, though. This is another Q Squad team, one of, I believe, the 7 that is in this event. We have QsQ714. They're actually going to be taking on C1K, also known as Call It Karma, which we've actually covered a couple times before, and I believe they actually did fairly well in the DreamHoN qualifying tournament. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to another great matchup today, Ralph.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to see. As you said before, the teams in the lock-picking phase, specifically in the pool, have kind of been playing a little bit safe, and I'm really hoping to see some of those curveballs, as you mentioned, maybe some I don't know, more raw picks and some more Moon Queens or
some
something.
Blood Hunters, Moon Queens.
Yeah.
Come on.
Twist it up a bit. That would be awesome. But like you said, this is single elimination, so we're probably going to continue to see that more safe route taken.
Yeah. On that note, it looks like both teams are ready to go. In fact, the countdown has begun. We are now at the picking phase, so let's go ahead and take it into the game, guys. We have game number 1 here between QsQ714 taking on Call It Karma here in a best-out-of-3. Again, round of 64. This is it. You win here, you move on to the group stages. You lose, you're done, and your road ends here for the DreamHoN Summer Championship. So on that note, locking phase has started. The blind bands, of course, out of the way. As we see Q Squad here now, this is another interesting note. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. The team that won the role actually chose Hellborn yesterday, and you were kind of making the point that you wouldn't be surprised if Legion actually becomes more popular because of this lockpick phase. Q Squad actually won the role, and they chose Legion. So they're a team that's kind of picked up on that here.
Yeah, and it's because you get 2 first picks, basically. So you get the regular first pick, as well as the first pick out of the lock pick pool phase. Yeah. And that's really strong, and you can really adapt some pretty easy strategies if you keep that in mind. It's just much easier from a drafting point of view to be in that position to always have 2 first picks. But that's not to say that there's not strategy being Hellborn as well. Also, the fact that you're on Hellborn and you just have the better position to Kong and so forth with that. But yeah, I think more teams are going to pick up and pick Legion. I know when I was playing, we would always kind of prefer the Legion side over the Hellborn side. But they each have their benefits. So
Yeah. Maybe it will be spread out a lot more. Maybe the role will actually mean, again, not 100% certain on which side is going to be chosen, like it seemed like it was before, with it always being Hellborn. But anyways, we're now actually in the banning phase, so let's take a look here as far as the blind bans went. It's a little bit interesting because the Legion team, they are the ones that actually banned both Tundra and Pebbles, and then he had Jeremiah and Pebbles actually banned by C1K. But I bring that up because usually on the Legion side, you mentioned this yesterday. You want to stay away from banning a hero like Tundra or blind banning a hero like Tundra because you can lock him if he's not blind banned, which it could have happened in this case, and then you'll, of course, get the first pick with him. But QsQ, maybe that's just a case of they really don't have a strong Tundra player, and maybe they know Call of Karma does. So
that's probably the only thing I can think of. I mean, there's really no reason you shouldn't be picking up Tundra unless you can't play it.
Yeah.
But I mentioned a couple days ago, too, it's like you can't expect to be a top team, and you can't hinder yourself from picking a hero just because you can't play. I mean, you got to get into those TMMs, and you got to practice those heroes that are really popular because good teams will pick them up, and it's good to have that be able to use them.
Yeah, but not going to see it here because of that blind ban. And the locks happened. We had a Luna, Bubbles, Dark Lady, Andromeda, Hammerstorm, and Silhouette. So once again, a case of us seeing pretty safe lock heroes here. And then the banning phase when Hag, Ophelia, Parasite, Moraxis, Armadon, and Magebane. So anything through the locks and bans that you think is worth mentioning here, Drell?
I'm looking here, and it all looks so very standard. A lot of junglers were banned. The jungler that is open is a powerhouse to me that signals a red flag is Tempest, because both Parasite and Ophelia are gone. And I don't know if any of these teams are Tempest players, but wouldn't be surprised to see that picked up.
Yeah, and with 3 more picks in total with this regular picking phase, we'll see. Obviously, 3 picks are out of the way, and on that note, Magnus being the first pick, actually. Then you have the follow-up in Nymphora and Polywog Priest, so strong there. Magnus' first pick, you think is worth it there?
I'm sorry, Rick, can you say that one more time?
Magnus being the first pick over there for the Legion side, think it was worth being a first pick?
That kind of threw me off a little bit. I typically don't like picking Magnus when there's a chance to have a Behemoth on the board against me, because Behemoth is kind of a counter to him. It's very awkward stunning in, but amidst a Fissure. So I mean that's a big problem. But I don't think Hellborn's gonna go Behemoth, so maybe that's not that big of a problem. So Magnus is an overall very strong hero. Now Deadwood and Pharaoh, okay, they have 3 melee. I don't know quite how they're gonna do this.
Yeah.
The only way they can't screw themselves out of this is they have to first pick
Silhouette?
Luna. A Silhouette would work too, I guess, but that's a lot of farm on those heroes. I mean, all those heroes kind of need core items, so I would get a Luna personally, but we'll see what they do.
Yeah, that is going to be interesting with those couple of picks there. Electrician, the final pick over here from C1K. So I look at C1K's lineup, and so far it actually looks a little bit more of a solid lineup, more of a safe lineup. But there you go. Silhouette is going to be the first pick out of the lock pool for our Legion team. So, but yeah, my guess is you're going to see a Pharaoh, Deadwood solo, solos, and then maybe even a tri-lane making here. So they're going to try to go for Andromeda or a Luna, I'm sure, as their final pick, perhaps.
I think they're going to take a Luna Dark Lady. Okay.
And so starts to see Andromeda here. There you go.
That'll be good. Now, you were going to see kind of like a quasi second support Magnus, most likely, and that just is like, I don't know. I really don't like Magnuses without farm. I like seeing a Magnus that gets a fast level 11, a fast portal key. So, I don't know. It could work, but we'll see how they do with it.
Yeah. Yeah, but so I pretty much expect, though, again, to see that tri-lane from Q Squad, again, Pharaoh and Deadwood to be solos. Hellborn team, though, it seems like they finished off pretty strong themselves. I mean, that Luna Dark Lady, they too have a very, very powerful tri-lane here. So, overall, I mean, how do you like the Hellborn team overall? You think they did very well?
I actually prefer it a little bit. You know, they got Nymph, whereas the first pick went for QsQ with a Magnus. The other team went with the Polywog and Nymphora, and I just love Nymphora. I mean, we talked about it a little bit, and that hero, you know, come mid to late game, just is such a nuisance for anybody on the opposite team. It makes it so hard to farm in the lane because you always have that, you know, that threat that, oh my god, Nymphora again could come out, and it can happen anytime, anywhere. So it's just a hero that provides so much pressure on the other team.
Matt, producer, can you go ahead and actually switch the camera off the screen real quick? I'm actually going to need to actually restart Heroes and Newers, so I'm going to go ahead and do that real quickly here, because it looks like I am actually getting a couple of graphic bugs, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right here. 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect and come back in, so hopefully don't miss any of the action. Shouldn't really. So yeah, I mean, I guess obviously I'm not in game right now, but does it look like they're actually setting up tri-lane versus tri-lane here?
No, actually, it looks like it's going to be a tri-lane dodge.
Okay.
Pharaoh up here is going to be the suicide lane. He does have 2 wards on him. I think he's going to have a hard time trying to ward this, though, because he's going to run up into big trouble. And then they're going to do the same thing with Electrician, who's going to be the suicide against the Silhouette. Yeah, I actually think this might favor the Legion team, and it's because the support, if they were to go up against tri-lane, Legion versus Hellborn, I think Legion would get destroyed, simply because they kind of lack the range. You have both Nymphora and Luna on the Hellborn team, and that totally trumps Andro and Magnus. So I think they did a little bit better here on QsQ.
Yep. All right, we see... yep, Deadwood going to be hitting that middle lane. Obviously, having some reconnects here, so it looks like I was the only one to DC, so pausing for that reason. So now back into the game, but yeah, so tri-lane, as you mentioned, looks like we're going to have some dodging going on here from either side. Luna and M4 Dark Lady top, and of course Andromeda, Silhouette, and Magnus at that bottom lane. So perhaps expect some early movement here between those each of those supports when it comes down to it, as far as early on in this game. But yeah, is it safe to say game? I mean, honestly, both teams, they actually have some pretty aggressive lineups on both sides, but I think this Deadwood and Pharaoh are going to be big in this game, especially for the fact, you know, again, getting that level 6 mark is so important for so many heroes, especially these guys, and then being very aggressive with it. So safe to say that, you know, Pharaoh and Deadwood going to have some very important roles in this game earlier on.
Yeah, definitely, and I think both of those heroes fare very well against Polywog. You know, when you're playing Polywog, if you don't have a push book, that Pharaoh is just going to be your bane. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's always annoying playing against a Pharaoh when you're poly. Yeah. And I think this Legion team is going to have a very good time when they are trying to roam. They can roam definitely much better than a Nymphora and a Luna can. So hopefully we see this Antro kind of go behind mid, get some ganks on poly, and I think that's what they need to do.
Yeah, so we'll see. Obviously, again, have to come out of the pause for that to ultimately take place here, but soon enough from these two teams. Again, this is a round of 64, best out of 3 series here. For those that are just tuning in, game number 1. But again, why it's so important today is that you win here, you advance onto the group stages, and you will at least be playing another 7 best out of 3s, as well as already taking a piece of that $40,000 prize pool. You lose here, you pretty much are kind of on that bubble, and you fall just short of those good things. So again, this is a very, very important game. Of course, Q Squad taking on C1K, one of the, again, to reiterate, 7 Q Squad teams, I believe it is, that are in this event. I'm not exactly sure if all of them are still remaining, to be honest. I think maybe a couple got knocked out already. But yeah, again, for those that are unfamiliar, the Q Squad, it's basically an organization that was started up by Nova, formerly of Fnatic, very popular HoN player, of course. And instead of just making a one team, he wanted to make it more of a community like it is, where it promotes a lot of teams being made. They do a lot of in-houses. They do a lot of scrimmaging between clans or between their own teams. So it's actually a pretty nifty idea. And they have this huge tryout period, and I think they're still going through it. So it's actually a pretty fun idea, and it's going to be interesting to see how ultimately all the Q Squad teams do throughout this event. But Pharaoh actually at the top lane. You mentioned this. He's maybe in a little bit of trouble here. Going to take the Luna stun. Bloodlust kill maybe coming up for the Hellborn side. Is it going to be enough for the kill? Charging strikes up in 5 seconds for Dark Lady. That should be enough for the kill. He does have mummy walls, but charging strike's going to be up in 2, 1. There we go with the charging strike. Zeal stun will hit, and we see actually Nymphora gets credit for the kill even. So it turns out they get the Bloodlust, but
I think that's fine. I actually don't know if Dark Lady was going to finish him off by herself. That was a really great place for a Seal Stun. So, yeah. Actually, and we talked about this when I was on TDM, I actually think that sometimes getting the Bloodlust on your supports is actually even better. Sometimes. In this case, I would say no because it's a Dark Lady. But sometimes it is better because you get those early boots on your supports and they can roam like crazy.
yeah.
So, it's not the biggest deal in the world.
By the way, Dark Lady, speaking of him, he's actually being played by I'm Carry, so again, how appropriate there, but he's also tagged up as QsQ, so apparently he's actually part of the Q Squad organization, but he just so happens to be playing for Call It Karma here in this tournament, so a little bit of interesting rivalry going on there, I'm sure. I'm sure he's familiar with the players and may help give him an edge over them, but yeah, so obviously a great start, and going to just have that absolute free farming at the top lane. Similar to Silhouette here at the bottom side. Of course, this is what happens when you have try versus try, and they dodge one another. So, going to be more of a farm fest, at least until those level 6s and 7s start hitting for heroes like Deadwood, Polywog Priest. Speaking of Deadwood, actually going on a Polywog Priest right here, landing the Rotten Grasp, going to apply some auto attacks, even throw the log in his face. Let's take that, and falls back. So it seems like so far, again, we're still very early on, but Deadwood having a pretty good time here against this Polywog Priest.
Yeah, let's see. I'm going to look up the CS score. We got 5-4 Deadwood versus a 4-4 Poly, so pretty much even in that regard. I think Poly has got to be super aggressive before Deadwood hits 6. Otherwise, we all know what's going to happen. A punch to the face is going to happen. And, yeah, hopefully she can get some lucky runes. There is a regen rune up top that Luna is saving for her as the ball is on the way. So that's definitely going to help her out there.
Yeah, Polywog Priest will be able to pick that up, and big good news. Of course, rune control so important in that 1 versus 1 middle matchup, and Polywog Priest no doubt going to get the first one as you just talked about, so great start there for him. Dark Lady doing some creep pulling here at the top side, actually getting some support to help him do so, and kind of getting the creep wave pushed back, so obviously what they should be doing, and is going to continue to farm the lane. Obviously, this camp up here is not blocked either. It was stacked, and they could use that to pull again when they find necessary. Again, to keep the lane in control of their favor. As far as the Legion team, similar situation. You see they actually used a Ward of Revelation to counter ward what I'm guessing was a ward that used to be there. I didn't notice 100%, but I believe a ward did used to be there. So they should be able to pull from that camp now as well, but having to use the Revelation. So, but yeah, so again, Dark Lady versus Silhouette here. If it really just happened to be a complete farm fest and both Silhouette and Dark Lady were getting identical farm, do you think either one would have an advantage over the other, or is it going to come down to team support? Or
it's pretty even. I think in the very long run, Dark Lady would have a better time, but it really comes down to not which carry can out carry the other carry, but how can the supporting cast really help out the team as a whole. Like, who has more stuns? Who's going to be better in team fighting? And I gotta give that to the Legion team. I mean, when you have Magnus and Jero Fair, I mean, all those heroes just have such good stuns, so much utility, and good team fight.
yeah.
And but at the same time, you look at Hellborn, you got Polywog Priest and Nymphora, so you have ability to push and all that jazz.
Yeah, obviously there are advantages in the certain areas. Exactly, it's a good amount of CC, and also Andromeda again. She, especially when it gets to the later game stage, she get those levels up. I mean, with the Aurora max, the Aura, the Dimensional League maxed. I mean, that can be very, very useful for a hero like Silhouette as well. So, but yeah, it's definitely it's ultimately going to come down to play. I think it's safe to say, which is usually most of the time, of course. But yeah, I mean, at this point, again, it's I guess is that a kind of game we should expect, though? I mean, should we expect a longer game because of this matchup here and because of the teams, or is it possible to where one team could really play aggressive and take over?
I think it's possible that either team could be aggressive, actually. If Nymphora gets a really fast level 6 and Polywog, does really well in this middle lane, gets an early portal key, we could totally see a lot of aggression coming out. Just depends on how things start here in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, so far, I mean, I'm keeping a close eye on between Silhouette and Darklead as far as their creeps.
Could have some action up here top.
Pretty similar. Oh yeah, Deadwood going for the top room, which is invisible. He's going to get hexed out. Nymphora will actually pick it up just before using the Zeal Stun, and Deadwood getting turned around on tongue-tied right on top. The power throw coming through, and Alme right there on Polywog Priest actually getting credit for the kill. So he was having some pretty good rune control, and now on top of the kill that just happened, it seems like Polywog Priest is no doubt winning this middle matchup now. Against Deadwood here, in fact, even having more creep kills by 1. So, bad news there for our Legion team and Q Squad, as Polywog Priest now, he's going to be hitting level 6, you got to think of the very near future, and that's just going to be even worse here for the Legion side. So,
yeah, that was really great job. I mean, for all those teams that are up and coming, I mean, just do exactly what these supports are doing on C1K. I mean, both Aluna and Nymphora actually have boots now. That is huge. And both of them came to camp this rune and help out their mid player with rune control. And that is huge. I can't stress that enough. That really, really is going to help out your mid player.
Yeah, so Deadwood now, again, he's definitely playing from behind a little bit, and I believe Polywog Priest should be hitting level 6 just prior to him, and just like Deadwood with that Falcon Punch, Polywog Priest just as dangerous with the Ward Trap scare, so really that's going to give him even a bigger advantage. You see right there, Rotten Grasp coming out for harassment, but you also see off to the side, Nymphora kind of camping a little bit, maybe waiting for Polywog Priest to hit level 6 very shortly. In fact, there we go, he does have a Ward Trap ready to go. The wards go down, not a trap necessarily, but in comes the Zeal Stun attempt. He's not going to get it off, actually. He's doing a lot of stop canceling. Deadwood trying to run away. Are we going to see another Electric Jolt coming out right here soon? There's a Rotten Grasp. He's barely away right now, somehow. Still alive. In comes Magnus. He hits the stun onto Nymphora. Missing Polywog Priest though, but Deadwood gonna try to juke in the woods. He runs into the invisible Polywog Priest though, and down he goes. So well played right there from the Hellborn side. Again, the Ward Trap wasn't necessarily the prettiest, but they got the kill, and that's what matters here.
Yeah, that was some funky stuff going on there. A lot of juking going on with Nymphora, trying to stop cancel and just get the right angle there, but couldn't eventually find it, as a Deadwood did a good job there. Yeah. But you know. That Nymphora mana, what's it called? Grace of the Nymph is just such a great spell, and he is actually leveling up, which I do like what most Nymphoras do. And that almost was enough mana to give that Polywog Priest an extra jolt there right before Deadwood was able to fog out, but it didn't matter in the end, so good job by them. Yeah,
Deadwood's still not even level 6 yet. I mean, it might happen here. In fact, well, as I say it, there we go. So he finally gets the level 6 mark, but again, taking longer than he'd liked, and with those 2 deaths, has been slowing him down, and that is a big deal here for this Legion team. Another thing I'm noticing here, pull up the experience per minute chart, and there's 2 heroes specifically. Pharaoh between Electrician, obviously playing similar roles. Pharaoh not getting anything, barely under 100 experience per minute, but Electrician's managing 225 XPM. He's already level 5 compared to level 3 Pharaoh. So is that surprising? Is that surprising that Electrician is actually doing pretty damn well for being in that role there?
Well, it is actually a little bit surprising. I mean, Electrician is a very strong suicide hero, but the problem is, if you really watched in the beginning, the tri-lane bottom here for Legion did a very poor job of controlling the lane. They pushed it out way too much when they didn't need to, and the supports weren't putting enough aggression onto this Electrician. So now that he's level 5, it's just going to get even harder and harder to kill him, but I think they can. I mean, I think Magnus, if he just came bottom, and they used all their stuns. He's level 3, Andros level 3, Silhouette's level 6. They could easily kill this Electrician. He has no ward now as well. In 7 minutes and 50 seconds, they have to know that he has no vision.
Yeah, Ward Trap missing here in the middle lane. It's not going to matter, though. Once again, they get the kill to Deadwood, and they're in range of the tower. So this tower and vulnerability even going to be used right there, but I don't think anyone's going to be porting in. So this tower is going to drop here in favor of the Hellborn team. No one on the Legion side even nearby to attempt to deny. So there we go at 8 minutes pretty much. A 3rd death already on Deadwood, as well as a tower kill. So looking at the overall stats in this game so far, call it karma. It's really starting to pull away. Again, we're still very early on, but that is surprising. I mean, I know you were given hope for both sides definitely having a chance of getting a good start here as aggressive play, but I don't think we expected this early on to have such dominance here. In favor of one team, but our Hellborn side right now, they're looking very good because on top of just the whole team actually having a pretty good time, they also have Darklead, who is now over 400 gold per minute already. She's already got her Sustainer, Boots, and Ring of Teacher, so well on their way to the Rune Cleaver. Legion team is going to start needing to make some risky plays here, I would think.
And Darklead just ulted. I don't know what she ulted. Maybe they saw thought they were going. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But yeah, this is looking really scary if you're at Legion's side. And I just don't know what this tri-lane bottom was doing. I mean, they could have been killing. Oh, Andros get caught off right here, and he gets bursted down immediately. The grip coming on to the Silhouette as well as the Steel Stun falling up, and the Polywog Priest hold. Punch coming out to Polywog, and a big Magma Stun onto 3 heroes. That could be the turn that they're looking for. Trying to pursue this Nymphora. Can they do it? Low mana on Deadwood as well. Deadwood doesn't even have boots. He does throw the log on there. Steam Boots picked up on Nymphora, so she is damn tanky.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Already Steam Boots. That is ridiculous for a hero like Nymphora, but again, she's been active as you see a 1-0-3 so far in this game already. Just now 9.5, 10 minutes in really. So it kind of explains itself right there, but. Yeah, I mean, the Legion team, not too bad. Obviously, a good response here at the bottom lane, and definitely got something out of it. So, Silhouette, I mean, she is the shining hope here, and the kind of a need to be, you could say, for our Legion team. But they need somebody else on this team to be stepping up and having a good time too. And so, I mean, you look at Deadwood; it drops all the way down to 145 gold per minute, and then after that, everyone else under 100 GPM. Those are just not pretty numbers to look at. If you're the Legion team in Q Squad right now, and speaking, it's just going to get worse right here. Andromeda's going to get picked off. The Gore taunt adding insult to injury as Electrician, Nymphora, and Aluna all combine to get the kill right there. So, our Legion team, you got to think that it's. I mean, is the window closing here? I mean, they're not going to have much more time to make things happen. It doesn't look like.
It's getting scary. They're going to have to. Once Pharaoh hits 6 and hopefully Deadwood can get some boots before, the 15-minute mark.
Yeah.
They're going to have to do something. I mean, on paper, Silhouette versus Dark Lady is horrible. Because Dark Lady, even when Silhouette goes for that very standard Nullstone item, the Dark Blades from Dark Lady just totally cancel that out. Nullstone is not going to prevent you from getting silenced. So you cannot port to your illusion to get away to safety. So on paper, Dark Lady is a hard counter to Silhouette. So that's something that's always in the back of your mind. You got to be scared of if you're Silhouette and your team is failing.
Yeah. Well, we got to give them hope though. Again, it's still very early on, so you would like to hope here in the round of 64 that Q Squad definitely has a trick up their sleeve perhaps and can start coming back into this game somehow. But it's to be realistic, it's very, very grim even at this point here. Andromeda's going to hide into the jungle. She nearly got caught out herself once again. But now, so while this whole distraction is going at the bottom lane, again, Darkly's just sitting up top here, continuing to free farm, now up to 418 gold per minute. She might even be getting a root cleaver. In fact, El Falcon Punch is going to be used right. This is going to be a big kill coming out. Charging Star's going out, but not going to be enough. And 2-0-4 playing that Deadwood will pick up the kill. On to I'm Carry playing the Dark Lady, so very well played. And meanwhile, at the bottom lane, Silhouette going down. Andromeda most likely going to fall right here. They did get the kill in Nymphora. In return, Magma stunning, and in comes Pharaoh, but he hit the creeps right there. That was a double tap in the making. Now they are going to get one kill list, and the double tap still might happen as Deadwood is chasing down the Deja Vu Aluna. Not going to be enough, though. You see Polywog Priest running away, but Pharaoh, again, the Wrath of the Pharaoh's down, obviously. Not enough mana anyways, so I don't think they're going to be able to catch up to Polywog Priest. It's also going to get a nice little double damage rune as he walks right by, so that could have been a turning point here for our Legion team. It's unfortunate that Pharaoh missed that hook, though.
Yeah, that was pretty comical, to say the least. But, one thing I noticed about this team, and just the fact that this team is, I want to say, led by Nova, maybe mentored by Nova, but it's very Nova-esque. If you look at the jungle, it's completely friggin' stacked. I mean, except for maybe one camp. But we got a triple stack here, triple stack there.
Double
okay,
stack.
Nothing in that small stack, but then this is a triple stack as well. Or actually, Magnus just made this a triple stack, so they're having a Nova effect, where I think that's what the supports were doing, whereas they could have been getting free kills constantly, bottom and elect. They were just stacking the jungle, so hopefully they make something with that. Hopefully Silhouette's walking to the jungle now. He actually, one of the more popular things to do is to max that Death Lotus first. Because it actually gives you so much more farming potential in the jungle.
Yeah.
And but we didn't see him do that, and it's going to make his jungle farm just a little bit more slowly.
And he needs to be careful here because you see the Hellborn team, they're actually coming over. So Aluna's running into Andromeda. She will take a common stun, but I don't think any follow-up's going to happen. You do see Nymphora and Polywog Priest actually off to the side. So our Legion team, again, they need to fall back. Silhouette below half-life. not looking to get involved in a team fight by any means at this point. They are going to initiate, though, on a Polywire Priest right here. The War Trap comes out on Pharaoh as he's the one that jumped out. Down goes Polywire Priest. A Falcon Punch even used on top of that. So they get the kill, but at what cost right there? Pharaoh will go down in 4, and Aluna trying to run away. Deadwood, though, throwing the lock, trying to chase them down. In the meantime, I don't think it's going to be enough, though. Going to land a nice rotten grass, but Magma is not close enough for the follow-up. So the one-for-one exchange happening right there between Polywire Priest and Pharaoh. And Electrician doing his thing at the bottom lane while that's happening. And I must say, I mean, his farm's actually not too shabby. Again, it's according to the with the situation at hand. He's now farming around 180 gold per minute. He's got his plated greaves, a Mystic Vestment, and a power supply. But Rune Cleaver has been finished on Darkly. She's had it for about a minute now. So that's the scary point. 384 gold per minute. Her camp isn't necessarily stacked like the Legion team. It's in fact no stacks at this point here. Not even the Ancient. So that's the unfortunate thing for the Hellborn team. But they do have the Ring Cleaver now, and that's the Dark Lady key item, of course, early on in the game. So Q Squad, they have done a pretty good job, though, I must say, of at least holding this off, getting 2 out of hand. So they're at least definitely still in the game, but it still is a pretty good lead here for C1K.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that C1K is getting a little sloppy. They're kind of overstaying their welcome in the jungle there. If you saw, I mean, you got to expect that when you're sitting in the jungle trying to be as aggressive as you are for a good minute, the team is going to have support.
Oh, Pharaoh's going to get caught up here. The 5-man King Squad coming out, and Pharaoh drops, so...
Choo-choo!
Yeah, pub train status.
Choo-choo train!
Well, they got the kill, Ralph. They got the kill. That's the big thing.
No, I'm referring to, like, if you watch 2 stream,
yeah,
he would always play this thing that's like, choo-choo train, choo-choo. Did you ever see that?
It's not ringing a Chew stream, you said? God, that must have been a while ago.
Yeah. It's like this kid's show. Or this thing from a kid's show.
I can't remember. Oh, my childhood.
I don't know. It was funny. I liked it. Oh, Deadwood here is invis.
Ooh, yeah, he's behind, actually. Now, they're going to push this tower in, but Deadwood's ready to go. Who's he going to jump is the question. Here we go. Pharaoh jumps in. Where's the rock? It comes out. A great initiation right here. Magma stuns in. Darkly trying to follow this up. Deadwood still has not used his Falcon Punch, though. He's going to see by the eruption. Goes off. Down goes Polywire Priest. And Darkly needs to get the hell on out of there. She's going to take a Combo Stun. In comes Silhouette, level 11. Chasing them down with the Death Lotus. The Tree Grapple will hit Electrician. She's going to split up, but now Silhouette needs to be really careful right here. Oh, she's going to get caught with the Dark Blades. So Silhouette overstepping her boundaries. Thought it was a lot better than she expected. And she ends up going down. Andromeda is going to be able to pour it out, barely to save the Genocide at least. But in the end, C1K hands down wins that fight. It was a pretty initiation there, but...
Oh, it was sexy. I mean, I'm so surprised it didn't go better for them. I mean, They had Pharaoh hook in. It was a good hook. Walled 3 of them. Deadwood grasped all of them. Magma stunned all of them. I was missing picture. I don't know what happened. Maybe Silhouette wasn't there.
Late. Yeah, I think she came actually very late. I'm not sure why, but...
I mean, that was about as perfect as it could get, and the fact that it failed. Yeah. Oh, they're in a huge hole right now. I mean, 12k gold, 17 minutes in the game is freaking huge. Yeah. And so this is gonna. If you can't win an initiation like that, I don't know how you're going to after that.
Yeah, it's not a good thing to have on your mind after that, I'm sure. So. No doubt, it's a little bit of it's not affecting the mental state, I'm sure, of QsQ here on the Legion side, of the fact that, as you said, I mean, that was a pretty initiation right there, and still, as great as it was, they still frankly got dominated in the fight. I mean, it ended up being a 3 versus 1 at the end, where Andromeda barely survived to save the Genocide. So, Darkly, she the big hero, of course, in that fight, she ended up surviving through all of it. She is now 1-1-6, but 500 gold per minute has just been passed. So the Rune Cleaver, no doubt, doing its work. She actually followed up with an Abyssal Skull, so this is definitely era-esque, you could say. Going the Rune Cleaver into the Abyssal Skull here. And
even with those cruddy steam boots, yep.
Yeah, true. And then
I just don't like steam boots on a Dark Lady, generally. Yeah. And I talked with Haxorn about this a lot, because, you know, Haxorn plays Dark Lady as much as anybody that wants to play Dark Lady. And it's just you can catch up to heroes a little bit better with Ghost Marchers.
Does Era go steam boots?
Yeah, he always goes steam boots stubbornly on every hero he plays.
Okay.
But it just Ghost Marchers just works so much better with Dark Lady. I mean, yeah, you don't get the attack speed, but why do you need attack speed when charging strike? It gives you 75 attack speed for what, 5 attacks, something like that, or 6 seconds. So it's not even a set amount of time, but or set number of attacks, I should say. But I think the Ghost Marchers makes it a little bit easier to catch up to heroes and silence them when you don't have your charging strikes available. So that's why I like Ghost Marchers, and I think most people do as well.
Well,
but it doesn't really make that big of a difference.
Yeah. No, it's
just
it's good to bring up, though. I mean, it's very valid points there. But yeah, in the end, I'm Carry here playing the Stark Liddy, going the Steam Boots, going the Root Cleaver, and again the Missile Skull, like I said. So we'll see if he follows that build to exact and goes to Frostburn next, even after the items that he currently has. Bottom lane, a possible action, picking up double damage rune. Deadwood is currently botted up. Silhouette's going to get jumped right. She gets swapped out by Andromeda, but the Ward Trap from behind, and Silhouette, he's like, I got out of it. No, I did not. He's going to tree grapple away, splits up with the illusions, but Electrician going to chase him down into the woods and take him out. Deadwood able to get the kill on a Polywog Priest with Magmus, but the tower will fall. Double damage rune again, you see activated. He's probably going to get purged off, though, as Dark Liddy jumps on a Magmus right here with the Dark Blaze. Down goes Magmus. You do see Deadwood just barely out of range of Electrician. 5 seconds on that purge. Not able to get close enough. So Deadwood will end up surviving, but again, it's a good idea. The great swap, but Polywog Priest, he saw it coming all the way, it seemed like, and a great ward trap on top of that. So, did
he ward trap Andromeda before she swapped? Because that was just comical almost. I'm going to swap you to safety. Wait, no, now I'm ward trapped.
I just made it worse. I don't know, actually. I didn't catch that on camera, I don't think, so I'm not sure if he was actually working.
That was pretty that must have been so unlucky and awful for Silhouette. I feel for him.
Well, to be fair, I mean, Silhouette was screwed if she didn't get swapped, so it was a case of, like, at least he tried to save her, but yeah, if that was the case then. No matter what.
Yeah, no, not to say that Andrew did anything wrong, that's just an unfortunate series of events.
Exactly, it's just unfortunate, and, well, life moves on, but life may be ending sooner than later here for our Legion team, because it's just getting ugly. Kongor's even being attempted. It's going to be dropped here. The Legion side doesn't even have vision, let alone if they could even stop this if they did. So Dark Lady will now have a token of life as well. She also has another 3,000 gold saved up. And again, she's farming 530 gold per minute. She just picked up a Firebrand right there. So here comes the token of life. Legion side, obviously, in a really desperate mode almost now. They're getting the Nullstone finished on Silhouette as soon as possible. But again, is that you mentioned earlier? I mean, on paper, what does that do against Dark Lady? Really not a whole lot. Yeah, it'll save you from a Taint Soul maybe, but that's pretty much it. So
it's just going to be so hard for Silhouette to do anything in these team fights. I mean, she's really going to have Shrunken Head, Nullstone, Portal Key to really do anything. But by the time she gets that, you got to think, well, what's Dark Lady going to have by that time? I mean, Dark Lady's going to have, like, she has her Firebrand now, 550 gold per minute. I mean, Dark Lady's going to just have so much more farm than Silhouette.
Yeah, so, again, ugly situation here for QsQ714. Again, this is the elimination match. You win here, you advance onto the group stages. You lose here, you are done in the DreamHoN Summer Championships. It is a best out of 3. This is just game number 1, to stress that. So no matter what happens here, of course, there will be the second chance. Does it get to a point, Ralph, where we talked about this before, but what do you think in this case? Do you think Q Squad, should they just be saying, you know what, we lost game 1, let's move on to game 2?
I think it's a little bit too early to call that. I mean, things can happen. Teams can throw. Actually, Pharaoh Initiation hooks onto the Aluna. Aluna does not have a push book, so she will die. Good initiation there, but Pharaoh's going to get caught out as the wall might be his own demise. Andro swaps him out. Grip coming out from Electrician. Magma's coming in with a stun, so this could be initiation that they need. And I'll let you take it over, Breaky.
Well, right. Spoke too soon, I guess. I mean, right there, they get 3 kills, and they're actually going to get a tower kill here. So the signs of hope, you could say, for Q Squad. Nullstone has been finished on Silhouette. That was actually pretty solid initiation on top of that. Electrician came just a little bit too late. Obviously, Dark Lady, she did use her ultimate on the cover of Darkness, but that too was a little bit too late. So, again, positive news there. So maybe now more so. By no means should they be conceding, as Portal Key was also just picked up on Deadwood, and that's obviously another huge item here for our Legion team, as he is level 11, so he will have that level 2 Falcon Punch. So, yeah, now after that fight especially, now I'm a little bit. After asking that question, I'm like, well, it's kind of a stupid question, because honestly, they should stay in this game for now.
Oh yeah, there's signs of life for them for sure. Andrew always screams, late game potential, just because that swap is so effective as a saving tool for any hero. But
she maxed out the Aurora first, by the way. I find Andromeda always very interesting. It seems to vary a lot between the Comet and the Aurora in terms of who or what they choose to max out.
Yeah, I don't. I love Max and Comet. I mean, look at the damage it has. 325 magic damage.
That's a lot, yeah.
I feel like it's so much more important to have that burst there than the negative armor from the Aurora. But I mean, that's just me. The negative armor is a lot. It's 5.
And you do have Silhouette, obviously, is all about physical. You do have a Deadwood with that Falcon Punch. If he gets the Aurora up to 4, can make it even that much more powerful. So, yeah, has its purpose, of course, but.
Yeah, I would rather see him go for the Comet, though. I mean, she's not always going to be ganking with Silhouette, and especially she's not going to be ganking with Silhouette because Silhouette should be farming for the first, 20 minutes of the game. And for the first 20 minutes of the game, when you have an Angela that's only level 7, you're not going to have both of those killed max out right now. So, yeah. I don't know. To each their own, I guess.
Dark Lady's level 16. She's finished her Frostburn here, so sure enough, going that build. Next in line, I'm actually blanking on what he usually goes next. I think sometimes he even goes Wingbow, but at this point, maybe it is a little bit. Well, I guess Wingbow could be powerful here in this game. Well, I guess also Shrunken Head would be a safe option too for Dark Lady.
Shrunken Head would be good. It's not perfect, just simply because the Deadwood Punch could do a lot of damage, but at the same time, Deadwood Punch isn't going to do that much damage to Dark Lady because she has. Close to 24 armor, just being an agility carry and all. So, Deadwood not the most effective against agility carries.
Yeah, that's true. And of course, the other thing about Deadwood's ultimate, the minus 20% total strength, so does help there too. But still, so yeah, we'll see where she goes from there. Obviously, waiting for a Luna to come back right here, having some internet issues apparently. So, hopefully not too long once again. Storm Spirit picked up by Polywog Priest recently. So they have that tool now as well, in case somebody gets caught out, or to maybe stop the opposition and chasing them down. Soul's Bulwark on Electrician, of course, a powerful item. Who currently actually has a set to defense. I don't know if he's maybe he actually just got it. So.
Oh, he is farmed.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, for how this game started for him, he's done very well. So. The HON servers are down. Well, there he just reconnected, so.
Thank God, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, I was just getting told by our producer that apparently some HON servers are having some issues, so. But he reconnected, so that's a good thing. Hopefully should be able to here once again. But Silhouette, man, I mean, she's been doing her thing. She's in the jungle right now and continuing to take out some camps. And currently they're not stacked, so she's just going to clear out these single stack ones here. And what does she have? She has just 1,700 gold saved up. So were you saying a Shrunken Head? Just like pretty much, you really hope that Silhouette gets a Shrunken Head here next.
I mean, I think she has to do anything in these fights. I mean, look at all those stuns and hexes and things coming out from Hellborn's side. She's not going to live simply, off that Null Stone. They're not going to cast just one spell and be like, all right, we're good. We got the Null Stone taken out. I mean, they're going to kill her. Yeah. So she's going to have to get a Shrunken Head if she wants to do anything in these team fights. I could see her maybe getting a Portal Key before that to maybe kind of add some aggression with the Pharaoh and the Deadwood, who also has his Portal Key. That would be a good option as well.
Yeah.
But I really do think that in order to do anything in these team fights, she's going to have to get a Shrunken Head.
All right, again, she has 1,800 gold now and counting, so we'll see in the near future probably what she chooses to ultimately go for here. You mentioned, though, and as I said earlier as well, Deadwood with his own Portal Key. He's actually at the top lane, hoping somebody comes up here to farm this pushed-up group, but no one's going to be able to. It looks like an Electrician, though, catching Andromeda. Power Throw coming through, and Andromeda will fall. So good job out here for the Helper team, even Nymphora porting in and going to give mana to Electrician. They're going to actually push the middle lane now, it looks like, as a result of this. Of course, they were spotted by that Ward of Revelation, but all 5 are now going to be here for our Hellborn team and C1K. And this tower, it's going to start dropping quickly. I don't know if our Legion team is even going to attempt to defend it here. It looks like they're just going to fall back to base. Say, screw it, you can have it, guys. We're fine having our base. So there you go. All outer towers have now been destroyed by Kali Karma. And now they're going to start working into the base. Deadwood's still pushing the top lane in the meantime. But he's going to need to think about getting back soon. You see wards are down.
And actually, I think it ward trapped Dark Lady.
Did it? Okay.
but then Dark Lady just charging striked out.
Oops.
Maybe it didn't. It looked like it did, though. That was kind of funny.
Well, Melee Rex dropping. There goes the vulnerability. Are we going to see a jump right here? Everyone is up? No, we're not. The Melee Rex is going to fall, so pretty much conceding the racks right here is our Legion team. You just got to make a move, man. Electrician is going to get jumped on with us all, but then comes Dark Lady with a charging strikes, Dark Blade, and all of a sudden the Legion team melting away. Feral will fall again. Andromeda already picked off. You see Deadwood, he couldn't even use his Falcon Punch right there. He is completely out of mana, actually. Silhouette just standing background. Oh, she jumped, and what was Silhouette thinking right there? She jumped into 5 players with a Death Lotus, and she is just absolutely destroyed, so I think that may be the game right there, if it wasn't already. C1K is dominating now.
I was just thinking the whole time, okay, the racks are dead, for sure. I'm thinking, don't jump in, please, Legion. Don't jump in, don't jump in. And they just did. They suicided themselves. They're like, all right, guys, racks are dead. Now let's fight.
Now here's our time, right?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Again, I understand it's kind of that heat of the moment. Like, you're in the moment, so your mind may not be as clear as ours from our point of view, but you got to question that. I mean, if you're going to go in, why wait till after the racks are dead? Polywalk Priest is going to get jumped right here by Deadwood. Feral will fall off a great Mummy Wall, actually, as Deadwood able to skirt on out of there. Charging strikes out from Dark Lady. She does have her token of life, remember. Nymphora is going to be picked off. Silhouette is still dead for another 15 seconds, so Dark Lady going to survive. It doesn't even matter.
Manning up.
And she is just man up mode right now. Again, she has a token of life, so she don't give no shit. She's going to fall right there. But going to come back with full life and full mana. Dark Lady is a wrecking force. Silhouette just resurrects, so but is she actually going to go balls to the wall here? Magma's going to stun, and it looks like, he's going to get counter stunned first, though, with that grab. There we go. That was done from Magma. And down goes Dark Lady, actually. Silhouette jump right on top, so they do get the kill right there. And now Electrician very likely going to fall, so it's going to be a double tap for Feint right there, playing Silhouette to finish it. So, well, they got a solid finish in the end. I mean, but still doesn't change the fact that the middle is completely cleared out now.
Yeah, that was just a little bit, cockiness by the Hellborn team. They knew that they totally crushed them, and they knew they have so much more farm. They should have definitely backed out there. But, I mean, that happens to every team, including the teams I've played with.
Yeah.
You get a little bit cocky when you're that far ahead, and sometimes you have some little mini throws there, but nothing too serious.
You start laughing and everything, and then before you know it, you lost the game. So.
Yeah.
It's obviously I don't see that coming by any means for C1K, but yeah, definitely overseeing their welcome a little bit too much, but still have that 20,000 gold lead now, 8,500 experience, but again, more importantly, the middle is completely cleared out. So QsQ714, they're gonna have to constantly pay attention to that now, as far as keeping that pushed out of their base, because even the towers at the shrine have already started to take a little bit of damage. So. Very, very dangerous here now for our Legion team, but once again, they are going to hold their ground. They're going to stay in it and hope for the best. Now, obviously, that portal key was picked up by Silhouette, so I don't even know if we even mentioned that yet, but she did have that in the last fight as well, of course, as we saw her use it, but also dangerously, jumping into 5 players. But anyways, they have some signs of life in the end. So 28 minutes in now here in game number 1. C1K, no doubt the favorites to win it at this point, but Q Squad going to hold it off for now and see what they can make happen. But, well, Soul's Bulwark is soon to be finished on Deadwood, so it should be another good item pickup. And actually jumping Polywalk Priest right here. Stormspring to be used, though, imports Nymphora, and look at Deadwood just run away after the fact. So Polywalk Priest making very good use of that Storm Spirit pickup there.
Yeah, definitely. That's such a great tool to have against some strong initiation heroes like Magnus, Pharaoh, and Deadwood. So yeah, it's a great pickup. I wanted to talk about earlier too. We saw Silhouette. I mean, he did jump in stupidly there, but immediately, Darkly smartly activated the Dark Blades, and just Silhouette can't do anything against that silence. I mean, Nullstone's not going to fix it. Shrunken Head could fix it. But that's something you don't really want to use. You don't really want to use that just for the Dark Blades. You want to use it for all the stuns and snares coming out.
Yeah. Well, we do see, Andromeda gets but she barely survives, so Electrician should finish that off. However, Mummy coming out. The War Trap is down. I just see a lot of health bars falling, and it looks like Dark Lady, though, she's going to be the one staying alive when it's all said and done, John Travolta style. So the racks will fall right here. Hat-trick coming out for Alme, and the GG well plays are coming out as well. So that'll make it official, guys. It looks like C1K, Call It Karma, is going to take game 1 here over QsQ714. Again, it is a best out of 3, of course, so that'll lead us into game number 2 with them up 1-0, but no doubt in the better position here. I must say, I mean, Yeah, I don't necessarily think that was. Sure, C1K definitely played it better as well, but I'm hoping Q Squad could definitely have a stronger performance in game number 2 because I think that they can and they hopefully will for their sake. So.
Yeah, I just think the big problem right there was it kind of affected the whole game indirectly, but not capitalizing on those kills that they could have gotten with on Electrician in the bottom lane there.
Yeah.
I mean, Magnus and Andro pretty much focused all their efforts on stacking, but they could have been ganking bottom, they could have been ganking middle as well, and I think that was a huge factor into why they lost that game.
Yeah, Darkly she just became insane early on. She had over 500 gold per minute. I think it was even around 20 minutes or so. I mean, that's just absurd. And good luck slowing that down, let alone stopping it. So, congratulations to C1K. Again, they're victorious here in game number 1, but it is a best out of 3 for a reason. So, tournament lives are on the line here for QsQ714, one of the 7 Q Squad teams. But we'll see again. Win the series, you advance on to the group stages. You lose, you are done at the DreamHoN Summer Championships. With that said, I was Breaking CBK. Joining me was Drop from Door. Stay tuned, guys. Game number 2 going to be coming up shortly.
Sounds like the